Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome to an update for Beauty A to Z. I'm so excited and I'm so glad I actually did this project pan because it's one that I've always seen Paula do and it's always been like really fun and I love seeing her updates. So I was like, okay, I tried to do it last year but I got extremely overwhelmed with all the project pans and I was like, no, I'm going to give it a go this year because it just seems so fun. Now this project pan is mainly, all the products except maybe two are makeup related products, so this will be quite difficult in that sense. But then I'm also going to be doing the 50 shades of project pan in April, and I'm not going to have that one be so like makeup heavy maybe, so I thought this would be like a nice way to sort of like balance it out. And I really want to focus in on using a lot of my makeup, so I found a bunch of products that I'm really excited to share with you. Of the 26, I have actually used in some way, shape or form 23 of these products. Let's dive right into the update. Okay, so the first product is this About Face lip paint. It's the shade Not My Baby, or Not Your Baby, sorry. This is such a beautiful lip color. The goal for this was either 50 uses or for this to be an empty, and I can already see a window in this product and it is just, and there's some like bubbles as well, so it's about like here. I don't know if it will pick up on camera, but I've got some good uses on this, and 4 uses is not bad in like the last 2 months. I do kind of need to like pick it up a little bit more, but like I said, like most of January, all of January and then like parts of February I was sick, and like I'd have like a couple of days when I'd feel a little bit better and then I was like sick again. Wherever the virus I had, it really did a number on me. So yeah, like I didn't really have that much makeup days except for like the weddings I attended in like January and February. Those are the only times I did my makeup. Towards the end of like the last 2 weeks of February, because I was feeling a lot better, I was able to do my makeup, and that's when like the makeup usage kind of like really picked up. But I have a feeling this might be done before I even hit 50 uses on it, which would be great because I haven't actually used a liquid lipstick up in a couple of years, and it would be nice to have this done. It is a beautiful shade and I know that I would miss it if it was to be finished, but at the same time it would be really exciting and really fun to see a liquid lipstick be completed from my collection rather than it being decluttered, and that's how my inventory numbers go down. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where this product goes. For the letter B, I've got the Beautybay liquid eyeshadow in the shade Carnelian. This is what the shade looks like. It is a really lovely sort of like shimmery pink. I have a like a love-hate relationship with liquid eyeshadows. I feel like because I have like, firstly I've got like crease, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but you can see how my eyelid has like a crease, and sometimes I feel like shadows don't really sit really well in the crease, but I also have sometimes oily eyelids, which means a liquid eyeshadow will sometimes always crease up depending on the formula on my crease, and it does look ugly when that happens, and it is also very frustrating. I don't ever just go in with liquid eyeshadow on my lids because I've done that, it never works. I always use an eye primer, then I'll set that primer and then I'll go ahead and use a product. But I feel like even then sometimes it doesn't always work. That being said, I have hit 2 uses, the goal is 15. That'd be a good indication of whether I want to keep this or not. It is a beautiful shade. The few times I've used it, I've only used it for like a couple of hours, and like on one time when I did, it was creasing. The other time I think I only had it on for like an hour, so you couldn't really pick up on whether it was creasing or not. But I do have a feeling that a lot of my liquid eyeshadows, even though I love buying them, will potentially eventually get tossed just for that reason. I wish I was that person that could rock up with a liquid eyeshadow because I feel like it will be such a nice, easy, one and done product to use, but it just never feels that way for me. I'll see how it goes. I've got quite a few other liquid eyeshadows and I really wanted to roll one in one of my project pans, just because I feel like it's one of the most neglected category in my entire makeup like inventory. Like yeah, it is literally the only way my inventory ever goes up or down is if I buy some or they get tossed because they expired or they've dried out. So that seems really wasteful and a bit silly. That's why I had to roll this in. 2 out of 15 uses is probably not the greatest, but it would be nice if I could pick up on this a little bit more. For the letter C, I have got the eyeshadow pot in the shade Amber Gold. It is a pretty nice colour. and it does look beautiful when I wear it. However, it does crease up a lot. I feel like no matter what, these eyeshadows always crease up. So the way I've had to use it is to just set it with another like a powder eyeshadow, and I'll try to go in with a shimmer. I've only had 2 uses. The gold was 30, and I don't know, this is also like a good option if you have like more dry eyelids or like normal eyelids that are not like too oily. I think you would really enjoy this. I feel like if I could use this properly, this would be my go-to sort of product, but because of the way it kind of doesn't necessarily work on my eyes, it's a bit trickier to use this, even though I really wish I could. The goal going forward is to try to incorporate it in some way, shape or form. So I might have to just start using this up as like a wing liner, because sometimes it can be quite difficult to reach for this actual product for eyeshadow purposes. So I might have to kind of like do a little bit of that where I'm having to use this product in different ways to hit the usage goals. I don't think I'm anywhere close to hitting like the bottom of this. There is a lot of product in here. It says it has 7 mil of product. This is also years old. So I thought about passing on, but I thought it was a bit too old for me to do that or feel comfortable with passing on to even friends or family. So I decided I'll just keep it and see how I feel about it. I have one other one, and it's like the more reddish sort of like tone, and I just don't like red eyeshadow on me. And again, I just felt like it was a bit too old for me to necessarily pass on, but because of how much money I've spent on it, I don't necessarily want to get rid of it. So let's see where this goes next month. I do hope I find ways to actually incorporate this in certain looks. I do feel like if I was to ever do like the more neutral shadows, I could always easily throw this in as the liner, but it is just one of those things that I typically have to force myself to use, and it's not something that I easily gravitate towards. So hopefully if this works better as like an eyeliner, I might be more tempted to pull this out more frequently. For the letter D, I've got this Dior Backstage foundation. This is the wrong shade for me, so whenever I wear it, it always looks more orangey, and if I was to wear this today, I would have looked extremely orange, and on camera, in person, it wouldn't have picked up as much, but it would still look more orange for me. This would definitely be more of a summer shade, but this foundation is again a couple years old, and I'm trying to just use up all of my really old products. And this year with the no buy, I'm trying to also limit how much products get brought into my collection, so only ever replacing things when necessary or needed. The only exception is eyeshadows, and I have a limitation of up to 4 eyeshadows I can do, but palettes I can buy, but I'm trying to hold off for as long as possible. But this, I was holding it the other way around, and that's where I marked it last time when I rolled this in. But since then, I've like decided that I'm actually going to keep it upside down, because this will be a lot easier to actually see the progress, because you can now see like the windows in the foundation, like there's gaps showing up. But if I was to hold it the other way around, it takes like several days for it to like settle, and I tend to gravitate toward this foundation fairly often now. Since I've rolled it in, I've used it I think 5 times, which is quite a significant amount. The goal is to have this finished. Would I replace it? Probably not, because my go-to foundation, like a high-end foundation, is actually the NARS foundation, both the Sheer Glow and the Longwear foundation. Since there's been a bit of changes in my skin, I feel like I can actually use both of those now. There's a different one from Dior that I would like to try, but this is definitely the wrong shade. I really feel like I needed like 2 shades lighter, because this is a bit too orange leaning for me. But I do think it will work a lot better in the summer, so I'm trying to use my other foundation up first. But I do also kind of want to get the uses in whenever I can, especially because most times I'm at home, so it doesn't really matter much how my foundation necessarily looks or pulls. But yeah, it would be really nice to have this done by the end of the summer, because I do think it's starting to pick up on that sort of like scent where it becomes a little bit chemically, so you know it's expired. For the letter E, I've got this e.l.f. sheer lipstick in the shade Wild Peach. It's not really as sheer as I would necessarily have liked, but these are getting really old, and I feel like the formula is quite nice, where I can almost use it as like a lip balm if I really wanted to, but it is not a bad product, and I do feel like it's fairly easy to pick up on usage. So I think I've only actually used it 3 times since the start of the year, and that was when I was going to like different events or like dolkies and stuff like that. But I have actually made a little bit of progress, and this is one I would like to use up. So I have marked this on the piece of paper or this notebook, hopefully you can see. So that's the one that's kind of further away, that's where it was originally, and the second line going towards this side is how much I have left. So there is a very small amount of progress, but you know what, it makes me happy that there is some kind of progress. I really do hope I can finish this by the end of the year. After this, I have 2 others I would like to use up. I had 5 I think in total. There's like one sort of like a nudie sort of colour. I love that. That was so nice, but I think it's discontinued, so I can't repurchase it. I gave one to my mum, which was like a really pinky shade that I wasn't going to use at all, and it was not a sheer shade in any way. I've got 3 left, and I would really like to have them all done by the end of the year, only because I've had these for so long. I kind of want to just use them up, and I actually do like these products. They are really nice, so rather than me throwing these out because they're expired, it would be nice for me to get rid of them because I've used them up. For F, I decided to throw in this Fenty lip gloss. This is the cream formula, and this is the shade Mauve Vibes. The goal for this is to just use it up, but I feel like I've got enough progress where you can now start to see some bubbles, and the actual lip gloss is settling where this line is from that Sharpie. I would love to have this done. There is a high potential that I'm going to have to just take the stopper out so that I can actually use up more product. The only issue with that is it can mean that glosses get really sort of like sticky and kind of gross, but of the Fenty glosses that I've done that to, it's actually not been that bad, and I've been able to actually use up a lot more product, so I will probably do that for this. The only issue with this is I've had this for such a long time. I feel like Fenty glosses or Fenty products a lot of the times do start to go off quite quickly as well. If you have a large collection of glosses like me and you kind of rotate through different glosses, or you focus on specific glosses for a while or till they're done, this might not necessarily be for you. I feel like if you're gonna spend this much money, spend it in a way that you can actually use the product fairly regularly, and at least that way you can get the usage out of it so the product doesn't go off. But I've had this for such a long time, I think it's like 3 years now, that at this point it is starting to kind of like stink a little bit, but it's not like unbearable that I can't use it, but it's just like the very faint underlying scent that's starting to come through, and I think before this completely has to be trashed. This will be done because I do reach for this fairly often, but I do need to take the stopper out so it's a little bit more easier to use the gloss. Hopefully next update I can actually share a lot more progress with you guys, and hopefully with the stopper out this will go a lot quicker too. For the letter G, I've got another lip product, and this is the Gucci lipstick in the shade Scarlet. I've literally only had one use in this. This is such a beautiful red tone. It's a very like blue toned lipstick, but it's like a deeperish, it's like a slightly deeper leaning red, and I really like this. I hate the really bright reds. They do not suit me in any way, and it has to be blue red because that's what suits me the most. I've tried the other types of reds and they do not look good on me at all, especially like the orangey reds. Oh, it looks horrible, but this is such a beautiful shade. This was given to me by my cousin because she didn't want it at the time, and it's not a very like it's not a very opaque sort of lipstick. It's a little bit on the sheerer side, but it can be built up to be more opaque. I really like this. It's a good formula, and I love the packaging of this lipstick. Eventually when I use up more lipsticks, I would like to repurchase some of these because the packaging is just so cute to look at, and the formula of this is really nice as well. I'm trying to really like curate my collection and try to like decrease stuff wherever I can. My makeup inventory, it should hopefully have been posted either before this update or in the next week or so. But yeah, once you see the numbers, you'll see what I mean. And like, I'm struggling, but I'm really trying as well. But let's see how this goes going forward. But I have also marked this. Unfortunately, because I've only used this once, this is just like it's still where that line was. Hopefully I can use it a little bit more over the next couple of months, especially with the summer coming up. I think it'll be kind of nice. For H, we've got the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and this is like a mini that I got in a Cult Beauty advent calendar back in, I think it was 2021 or 2022. I can never remember, it's been so many years. But this is actually a fairly decent product. It's not amazing as people say it is, but I do feel like it is pretty good. It is another really finely milled powder, and if that's the type of powders you like, this is definitely the one it's one of the options to consider. I'm currently trying to use up the entire thing. You can kind of see a little bit of progress, but the only issue I had with this is one time I was doing my makeup, I accidentally took too much out onto the lid. So it's not an accurate reflection of how much is left in the product, but there is probably about this much left in here. I've got the entire year to try to use this product up, so I'm not too worried about it. It would be nice if I could actually use this up before the end of the year, because I have a couple of other powders I would really like to get out of my collection. But this is not a bad product. I've started to, I think I've used it once or twice before. I've rolled it into the project, so it was a fairly new product, and this is the year I'm actually like really focusing in on it. There's nothing wrong with this powder, it's just one of the oldest ones I have. And again, I'm really like heavily focused on trying to like curate my collection, just decrease it to only have like a couple of options, but they have to be options that I either really love, and only one or two options that I can experiment with. For the letter I, we've got the Iconic London Velvet Smooth Primer. This was one of the new releases, I think at the end of 2023 or the start of 2024. I think I've used this like 2 or 3 times, and it was during wedding season. This is quite a nice primer, and it sits really well underneath my foundation. And I always go for the NARS Long Wear foundation whenever I'm going to like wedding events, or like they're gonna be events which my makeup has to stay on for 12 plus hours. This is a really nice one. It fills out my pores and it sits really well underneath that foundation. And I do need to use this a little bit more often. I think I've only used this 3 times, which is not that much, but I do feel like Iconic London have some really nice products. Definitely over the summer this will be getting a lot more use. But I'm also using like 2 primers at the moment. One of them is the Curva primer, which is the dupe of the Bobbi Brown Beautybay primer, and this is the other one. But this is actually really nice. I don't know why I didn't pick up any other like makeup products from Iconic London before, but this is definitely something I can see myself repurchasing once done. For the letter J, I've got another Dior product, but this is the shade Jardin Dior. I know I've completely butchered that, but this is, I'm not exactly sure if it's supposed to be lipstick or a lip balm or what the hell it is. I'm assuming it is supposed to be lipstick. I got this in the black case, but I got it like personalized because I thought that's kind of really cute. And I've used up a decent chunk of this. This is literally how much I've used up. You can kind of see it from the inside. And there's actually not that much product in these Dior lipsticks. For the amount that they bloody charge, it's a little bit of a crime, I'd say. I've got a love-hate relationship with a lot of Dior products as it is. I feel like a lot of things are really overhyped for what they truly are, or like the formulas are not really that great, or they're really drying and they don't really work that well for me. Especially with a lot of the lip products that I've previously used in the past, I'm not really a big fan. But this is actually not a bad product. I don't know why I got a frosted lipstick, because I don't really use frosted lip products, especially because a lot of my makeup is colourful eyeshadow and I tend to like focus attention on my eyes rather than my lips. So I don't really know why I got a frosted lipstick when there were several other options available for me. But I spent the money, I might as well use it, and it's actually quite a nice product and it sits really nice. It's also slightly on the hydrating side, so it feels really comfortable on the lips. I have actually got some decent usage on here. So the line that's furthest away is what it was originally, so I have made some progress, and then this line here is now how much product I have left. I think I've used this maybe twice, so, and I have like topped up quite a bit during the day as well. And I would say I do feel like this is a product, if I decide to focus on it, it can be done within like 2 weeks, probably less, just because of how like sort of like soft the formula is. So I feel like you'd end up going through this a lot quicker. Also, I feel like I have to layer up with products, especially this, because it doesn't necessarily show up as well on my lips as it would with somebody who's very fair. So I have to add a little bit more to get like the look that I want to go for, or like actual color payoff. So in that sense, it doesn't really make any sense for me to like repurchase Dior products, because it's kind of like a bit of a waste. But I do have to say it is beautiful packaging. For the letter K, I've got the Kayali Sparkling Lighty perfume. This was part of my secret ED last year, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, oh, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but the more I've used it, I've actually like enjoyed it. This is such, I feel like this would be such a perfect scent for the summertime, like spring, summertime, because it's like kind of fruity, but it's not like too intense, and it's not like something that I hate as well, which can be a bit of an issue, especially when it comes to like more sort of like florally fruity scents, if that makes sense. But I kind of, by the time I rolled this in to this product, I'd already used up about half of the product, and since then I have made some progress. So the first line is where I was when I first rolled it in, and that's like when I last sort of like marked this. So there has been significant progress since then, and I do feel like this is another fragrance that if I was to like focus in on it, it's an easy empty for me. I am gonna miss it once it's gone. I am on a perfume no buy again for the entire year. Actually started the no buy in June, July of last year, and I'm gonna continue it on till the rest of the year, only because I really want to like dwindle down my perfume collection. Again, some of them are so old that they have started to expire, so there's just no point in me keeping a bunch of stuff that I don't like, that is very subpar, when there are so many scents that I actually want to buy and would actually enjoy using on a regular basis, this being one of them. For the letter L, I've got the Lottie London Sweet Lips lip mask thing. It's actually really nice. It's very moisturising and it caught me off guard. Some of the Lottie London products I've used have been quite surprising, and this is one of them. The goal for this is to actually just use it up completely by the end of the year. So far, I think I've only used it like 3-4 times, and it was when I was getting ready to do my makeup for these wedding and wedding events that I was going to. It would be nice to use it up, but this is definitely on my radar to repurchase as a lip mask in the future. Obviously, I've got some lip balms right now, I don't need one, but in the future, this is definitely as a replacement worthy for me. For the letter M, I've got the Made by Mitchell Beam Lip Gloss in the shade Peri Twinkle. It's very blue. I thought this was going to be more like the e.l.f. blue lip gloss I found a couple months ago, where it was very like sort of like a very tiny amount of like pigment, but this is actually like, it's blue. Like, it's, if you want a blue gloss, this is blue. It's nice, but I do regret purchasing this because I don't really see myself necessarily wearing this gloss that often, and again, like it's not really something I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of, so I do feel like it was a silly thing for me to have bought. I've got one in green as well, so yeah, I'm gonna have an interesting time using both of those products. The goal for this one is to just completely use it up. I have quite a few Made by Mitchell products, not as many lip products as I do like his blushes, but still there's a lot, and I'm trying to like calm down because obviously it is such an affordable makeup brand and it's very easy to buy on TikTok shop, but I needed to like just take a step back because I have too much. This is actually a really good formula, which kind of surprised me because I thought it would be kind of like, I'm not really sure what I thought, but I was a little bit nervous because I've not necessarily heard the best reviews. A lot of people kept saying some of the products that they've received had a really weird chemically smell, and they didn't really like that. But for me so far, it's been okay. Would I repurchase this again? No, because I'm not going to use like a blue gloss. But if you like the funky types of lip products, which I use very, very like rarely, this might be something you might really enjoy. The formula is not bad. I would potentially try it in a different shade that's a little bit more like neutral, or something that's a bit more pinky that I can actually use on a more regular basis. But yeah, I've only used this twice and I have a long way to go to completely use this up. But I love his like iconic green packaging. It's such a standout, but I do need to just stop buying so much glosses. For the letter N, we've got the NYX orange eyeliner in the shade Orange Zest. This is so beautiful. I really like the formula of this. It actually caught me by surprise. It's quite nice actually. Let me swatch it on the back of my hand. The shade just looks like that. It is so easy to use, and it's one of the few sort of like formulas that don't irritate my eyes and that actually lasts a while, so that I don't have to worry about using up within like a year or two. I can have this sitting in my collection for some time, and I think it's probably now third if not the fourth year rolling with this product, so it's been some time now, and I would like to use it up, but it is such a good formula. I have made good progress on this actually. So this is where I was, or the product was, when I first rolled the product in, and this line is where I am now. So there has been progress made. I would like to see a little bit more progress, just because it's one of those eyeliner products that I'm not using because I hate it. I'm using it because I like it, and I actually want to get more use out of this product. I don't want to be hate panning every item in a project pan. I would actually like to pan products that I do enjoy, and this is one of them. Would I purchase any more for now? No, because I have so many. In the future, once I like really dwindle down my collection, or if I don't have any more like orange pencils, probably, because it is a really nice formula. The other formulas I would probably repurchase is the Barry M one, because that is so nice. Also Colourpop. These three formulas are the ones I've really liked, used and loved, and that I would highly recommend. For the letter P, we've got a Patrick Tar blush in the shade She's Adorable. This is the shade. I love this so much. It's one of my favourite blushes of all time. I hate the fact he only released these for such a short time before he released his like blush duos, which is like half cream, half liquid, half powder. This is what he should have continued on for a little bit longer for people who just love powder products. I'm more of a powder person than like a cream or like liquid blush person, because I feel like this is a lot easier for me to use. Also, like in the summer, I'm very oily. I would prefer to just have like a powder to use. I've actually got a pretty good dip going. By the time I roll this in, I'd already like sort of flattened out the P that was like sticking up, or the brand like logo that was sticking up, and now there's like a nice little like dip going. I'm not sure if you can kind of see that, but yeah, it's so beautiful. And I hate the fact, I'm actually quite angry at the fact that he had these for such a short time, and it was such a hassle. It was like a fight trying to catch one of these, and I think I ended up buying this secondhand. I'm not sure if it was a very small quantity that Patrick Tar was sending over to Cult Beauty, but these were selling like hotcakes, and it was so frustrating trying to buy these. And I eventually bought it secondhand, like I said, but I really do wish he'd kept these for a little bit longer. For the letter Q, I've got the Becca Rose Quartz highlighter, the Q for the quartz in here. Because I was really struggling to find like anything in my collection that had a Q, and I thought this would be kind of nice. The reason I threw this in here is because I've got so many Becca products, and the only reason I bought them is because by the time I found out they were being discontinued, I had never actually used any of the products. So I was starting to feel like a really big case of FOMO. Everyone that I had like known or was in some way, shape or form like in contact with, or like was watching on my Instagram, or like contacting, or like, you know, just on social media, they had all used some kind of a Becca product and they had loved it. So by the time I found out they were being discontinued, I was like, oh no, like I need to get on this really quick. I need to buy like the last few products that have been discontinued, because I'm gonna regret it if I don't get to try it at least once. And I bought so many of the highlighters, so many of the blushes, and a few other products to try in between. But of all the highlighters I have used, this one feels very, very dry to me. So it's a little bit more difficult to sort of use, and I'm struggling a little bit in that sense. But it is a really nice, or like very light pinky highlighter. I am wearing it today. You can't really tell too much, I don't think, but it is a very nice shade. The goal is to hit either 50 uses or hit pan in this. I have no idea what's going to come first. There's like a very small like dip in here, so we'll see. But again, it's a lot easier to hit pan than try to like pan an entire highlighter within a year. So I thought that would be quite nice. And I think also like 50 uses is a pretty good amount to either have a really large dip or to actually hit pan in. So I thought that'd be kind of like a nice little like challenge for me. So far I've hit 6 of the 50 uses, which is not amazing, but I'm trying. For the letter R, I've got the Revolution TGIF lip liner. This is such a good creamy formula. It's not like too creamy where the product might run, but it is a nice easy formula to use. I hate like a really hard pencil because it just it kind of like the feeling that it leaves on my lips, just it really tingles and it itches. I hate it. So I prefer like a more creamy formula, because then I don't have to worry about that. I've had this for quite some time. It is an old lip liner at this point, and the formula is starting to dry out a little bit. The goal, because of that, the goal is to completely use it up. And I have actually made some good uses or usage on here. So that's where I was at the start when I first rolled it in, and this is where I am now, which isn't very massive, but it is actually pretty good considering it's a really dark brown, and I don't really gravitate towards these shades that much as I used to like a couple of years ago. So like back in 2019, 2020, possibly 2021, I would have definitely gone for this shade first before I went for like any other shade, whereas now it's like completely different. So it's nice, it's interesting to see how like my makeup usage or like the types of colors and the products I use has changed over the years. But again, this is such a good formula. I know I'll regret it if this has to get tossed. It is also such a nice color, and it's fun to use like a really deep brown every now and again. So I'm really hoping that by the end of the year or even before then I can have this done. For the letter T, I've got the Colourpop Minuteman lip liner. Again, I've really struggled with this letter. I don't even know why, but I've really struggled with this. I've got some usage on this. It's a really nice colour for a lip liner, and it's also a really good formula. I know since then they have like repackaged the product and probably changed the formula a little bit. These are also slightly old. I think these are now 3, if not 4 years old. A lot of my makeup is very, very old, and I would really like to get the old stuff out. This is one of them. I've got a bunch of Colourpop lip liners that I need to use. Unfortunately, some of them have just like completely dried out in the past, and I have had to toss them, and I don't want to continue just tossing things. I would rather like my inventory go down because I've actually like used product up. That would feel a lot more like motivating, if you know what I mean. But again, I've actually made a little bit of progress. So again, like that's where I was at the start, and this is where I am now. I do need to maybe like pick specific products each month to focus on, to then maybe get like usage up for that particular product rather than trying to use everything at once, because I feel like if I do that I'm going to struggle a little bit more. And if I can start to see maybe some things used up and out of this product pan, I think that will just make it a lot easier, and these updates don't have to be like so long. For the letter V, I've got the Victoria Beckham Beauty lipstick in the shade Pout. This is actually a really nice product. The color of this is surprisingly really nice, and it suits me really, really well. Okay, hopefully that was better, but this is such a nice formula. Also, for the fact that this is such a high-end brand, that you can kind of tell with the packaging because it feels heavy and luxe. Would I try more products from here? Potentially. It's on the radar a little bit because of how much I actually enjoyed using this so far, and I've had some really nice things about the brand. I wouldn't buy anything just yet, again, because I'm on a no buy and I'm trying to just see what I use up more sort of like organically plus in project pans, and seeing how like my collection changes this year to then consider like if I'm buying anything the following year. But I do love this product. The goal is 30 uses or to have this done, and I have a feeling this might be another product that I get very close to either finishing or gets done before I hit the usage, so we'll see. Even though this is a product I'm actually trying to do a more of like a usage on, where I've got like a number that I would like to use, I'm still trying to track how much progress I make. So the furthest line is where I was at when I rolled it in, and this line here is the one, sorry, that line there is where I am now. So it is nice to see that there is some progress made, and I hope, especially over the summer, I get a lot more use out of this. It's actually a very nice formula, and this really surprised me. For the letter W, I've got the Colourpop and High School Musical collab, and this is the blush in the shade Wildcats. I'd been eyeing this blush for such a long time. I'm just gonna hold it upside down. I've been eyeing this blush for such a long time because I love shades like this, but it's not like too bright. It's slightly pinky and it looks really nice, and it goes easily with a lot of different types of eyeshadow. I'm wearing it today. I love it. I've used it only 4 times, however. The goal is to have 25 uses on here. I'm nowhere near gonna like hit pan, but I did actually, almost all of the imprint of this is gone, which is kind of nice to see, and it shows me that I'm actually using the product and there is usage visibly on here. I love this shade. I'm kind of sad that I didn't buy this before or use it before, and it was literally like brand new by the time I actually put this in my project. But it's such a fun shade, and I love the formula of like Colourpop products, so I would continue to use this. I can definitely see myself hitting 25 uses easily, and then I'll have to like roll this product out so that I can focus in on my other products. But this is so beautiful. For X, we've got the Melt and Bailey Melt X Bailey Sarayan collab. This is like a glitter gel product. This is the shade Boom Slang. Only issue is it's dried up, and I don't know how the hell that happened, because last month or when I first rolled it in, it was still very like wet and easy to use, but now it's completely, like almost completely dried up, which really shocked me, because I don't remember like leaving this like unopened or anything like that. Whenever I use it, as soon as I'm done, it gets tightly closed. So I don't know what the hell happened. I've only hit one use on it so far. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with this product. This might be something that has to get decluttered at some point, just because of the fact that it's dried out. If you guys have a good way of reviving like sort of gel products, but gel glittery products, please let me know. I was kind of considering trying oh my god, what it's called, like the liquid sort of mixing liquid thing that brands do. I know I've got one from Ingot, so I was thinking of maybe trying that and seeing how that goes, but I'm just so sad that this is it's actually a very recent product and it's already dried out. So yeah, kind of gutted, but it's fine. It would be nice to see if I can maybe get a couple more uses out of this. So I think what I'll try to do is focus in on this product and see where this goes. So if it's one that I need to declutter, I can toss it, and I'm really excited to do that. For Y, we've got the Kaleidos lip clay or lip paint in the shade Mahogany. It's a very deep brown. So when I first bought this, I bought the entire collection because I thought it was really nice. But since then, I've like not really used these products that much. But it, again, is a very deep brown shade. I do actually like this. The formula of the lip products are really nice, and I would really recommend them. They also don't feel really weird or dried or cakey on your lips, which I really like. Again, it's such a nice product. I decided to do a usage goal of 25 because this is, again, it's not like a regular product that I would use. It's a little bit more of a difficult shade for me to use, but I've only hit 3 of the 25 uses so far, which surprised me because that's actually more than what I would have. That's actually more than I thought I would have done. I thought I'd maybe just hit 1 use. So it's nice I've got a little bit more use than I expected, but it would be really good if I could use it a little bit more. I do know that when it comes to autumn time, this will be one product that I probably gravitate towards more around that time, but it would be nice to maybe like build up some usage before then, rather than having like 22 uses in, I don't know, October for this product. But let's see how it goes. I do actually like this. I do recommend the formula. I have so many of these shades already, so I do feel like I need to maybe focus in a little bit more on my liquid lipsticks going forward. The last product is another lip liner that I use. This is the Weaver in the shade Blooming Impression. Now, I've thrown in a lot of lip liners in here, so they're all kind of like fighting to get used up, if you know what I mean. But still, surprisingly, I have got some usage on here. So this is where I was last when I first rolled this in, and literally that's where I am now. So there is still a significant amount of progress, considering that there are 4 lip liners in this project pan. No, is it 4? Sorry, there's 3 lip liners in this project pan alone, plus a bunch of other lip liners I'm using or trying to use up anyway. So there is still like significant amount of progress. The fact that it's only been 2 months into the year, but I do think I need to maybe make a new strategy for like using these things up, and I think I'm gonna have to just pick like a set amount of products to maybe focus in on over the next couple of months, and then once I hit pan or once I hit my usage goal in them, they can finally be moved out of my collection, and I can then focus in on other products, because at the moment trying to focus in on everything is turning out to be very difficult, and I'm really struggling with that. So I think that might have to be the strategy going forward. That was a very long-winded update for Beauty A to Z. I hope that the future ones are not this long, because I won't be focusing on everything at the same time. But alas, I'm glad that this is not a running project, and it's just, as the product is done, it will slowly start to just get smaller and smaller. Let's see how next month goes. I also don't know if I will be updating every month. I hope I can, only because things are a little bit chaotic at the moment, but I mean, when are they not? But yeah, that was everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll catch you next week with another one. Bye.